Hey everybody, I'm driving an hour and a half this morning to head out to fish with Jimmy Lee from raWr Fishing. We're going to have a little crappie fishing challenge. I don't fish for crappie. As you can tell, I don't have a single crappie video before this. And he's a guy that loves to crappie fish and makes his own jigs too. You can check out the link below in the description to see his channel and see what happens today on our challenge. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna do my whatever.
There you go.
I just want to let you know ahead of time that I had the camera on narrow mode, so you're gonna probably see my head chopped off through most of this. Narrow view. At least I'm pretty sure I'll get the fish in the lens, but didn't realize that it was on narrow till we got back to the launch ramp.
Yo, what's up guys? Jimmy Lee raWr Fishing. Today I am doing a subscriber YouTuber challenge, and today Eric has challenged me for a crappie fishing. On a kayak, that is. We have some kayaks right here. And here are the rules. Basically, for me, I can only use my hand-tied stuff, while Eric could use anything he wants. And we basically have two challenges right here. Who catches the biggest fish and who catches the most crappie. And when I say the biggest fish, is only the biggest crappie. So may the best angler win. There we go. Let's go.
Okay guys, here's my game plan. I'm not a crappie fisherman. This is probably the first crappie video you're gonna see me do, so this challenge with Jimmy's gonna be tough for me. I'm gonna have two rods rigged up. One's gonna have this little like rattle, like it's not really a rattle trap, but it's a rattle style lure. I do have a couple of small rattle traps. That's going to stay on this rod, and on the other rod I've got a couple of these little jigs here like this, and I can swap these tails out with some power bait, which I might do. And you probably can't hear me say this, but I've also got a little container of mealworms. I might tip these hooks with mealworms and see if that works. So let's see what happens. So Jimmy was nice enough to get me a little bobber that I wanted to use about 2 feet over the jig because it's so shallow here. So let's see if that works. So I'm changing it up. I put this little power bait tail on here. Let's see what we get with that, if anything. Jimmy's already got like 2 or 3 bluegill, and I haven't. There we go. I got something. It's a bluegill. Much of the hook. Alright. We need a crappie though, because that's what we're fishing for. And there's only 2 feet of water here. And there's a lot of weeds on top of it, so who the heck knows. I've got look at this little bass. This has to be the smallest bass of the year. Oh my god, look at the size of this guy. Can't even whip them. Look at that. Jimmy just caught a bass back there. This is interesting. Neither one of us have, 20 minutes, neither one of us have caught a crappie yet. So, we'll see what happens here.
How's it going?
Just a bluegill and a small bass, that's it.
I got like 3 bluegills and hooked up 3 bass, only landed 2 of the bass.
All right, your jigs are doing well then.
I mean, I'm catching fish, but it's not what we're looking for.
Nope, it's not. Neither one of us have gotten a crappie yet.
Whew. That will catch you something though.
Yeah.
No, it will.
We hope. All right, well, whatever it is, just bit my little tail off. All right, I'm gonna go with the, I'm gonna try a little mealworm on this thing. All right, I got one. It's another bluegill. You know, if I catch a crappie, I'm gonna have to net him. I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose a fish that could win me the challenge. I'm tossing here on the edges of these lily pads, thinking that maybe the fish are hanging out under here because it's been so hot, and then they'll see the jig and come out and take it. I just lost one. I just lost a little fish. No idea what it was though. So the fishing has not been that great, and you know, a little slow day. This happens, you know, at every lake. And there's so much crap on this lake that, you know, Jimmy just went, I'm going to turn this around so you can see. He went through all that stuff, and I think I'm going to follow and fish some of the small open spots that you might see out in those lily pads. Which means I got to pull the Mirage drive up and paddle through there. Now I got to paddle through this stuff, and I'm going to also pick my rudder up. I don't want to be snagging any of this crap. Oh, I got one. It's a bass. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this guy, because we may end up having to go with the largest fish, period. We didn't catch any crappie, so I'm measuring him. He's not very big. 10 inches. 10-inch bass. What have I got here? I'm on the board with a crappie. Now, get this off and measure him. He's not huge, but he's a crappie, so I'll take it. And not even getting all all this on camera. Okay. This crappie is 11 inches. 11 inches. All right. This could be the winner. We'll see.
Crappie?
Yep.
They're in there, huh?
It's my first one, Jimmy.
Oh, man.
It was so shallow over there. Where you came through, it was so shallow, it was like there's no way. That's the first crappie for me today, so. What? I got a little fish here. And he's, this bass could even be smaller than the one I caught a little while ago. Never caught bass this small before. Get him on this side. Yes. I think this is a crappie. Nope, it's a bass. Just felt a little heavier. All right. Well, it looks like our challenge might be over, so I want to see how Jimmy did. I got one. At least I'm on the board.
All right, Jimmy, so we had an interesting day today. Why don't you tell me how you think you did today?
Well, I did pretty awesome at the beginning. I was catching like bluegills left and right. I caught like an awesome bass. And then I was trying to venture in past those algae. I was looking for that creek feeding into the lake. I was hoping that the cooler water would have some crappies. And as I was paddling through, I was struggling. I couldn't use my Hobie Mirage drive, so I was pushing really hard with my paddles. And I think because I had to push so hard, I knocked my rod out of my kayak without knowing. So yeah, I basically lost my weapon. So yeah, I was not able to catch a crappie, unfortunately. So I have lost this little challenge. Whew.
So anyway, this lake normally produces for you, right?
Typically it does, but I think there's some issues this time of year. It's like early July, it's very hot. You know, the algae bloom is very strong this year, and I think there's a lot of fertilizer runoff that's coming into the lake, and it's just causing the algae blooms to like poof. So very difficult to fish these type of conditions.
Yeah, you know what though, Jimmy, your homemade jig seems to be catching fish for you though. It wasn't the crappie you wanted, but you're catching a lot of fish, and everyone, you should, I'm going to link to up on the top here to Jimmy's video on how he makes his little crappie jigs. They're really great, and he was kind enough to give me one when we get out of the water. Of course, not before we started because that's what he was fishing with. But yeah, he seems to do really well with those jigs.
Definitely, it's they call it mop jigs or mop fly, and something I discovered recently. I didn't invent it. I recently tied it because I figured I found it on TJ Maxx, and yeah, it's an amazing lure. So I was hoping I'll catch some crappies with it this trip, but didn't happen. So I know it's gonna happen in the future. So definitely want to stay tuned.
Well, we'll fish together in the future, and I'll watch you catch those crappies.
Sounds good, man.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jimmy.
So thanks again for watching, everyone. Thanks again for watching, everyone. I appreciate Jimmy inviting me down here, everyone. You should check out his channel, subscribe to his channel. I'm sure you'll like his videos. Leave a link below in the description. And please hit that subscribe button for me too if you haven't already, and hang around for the next one, probably in about another week.